So I'll do that by giving a little background on myself, my current job role, and how much time that takes for me, some of my personal information. And then I'll dive into how I started building a plan and my keys for success to make sure I was successful at both work and school. So first off, a little background on me. So I currently work at Apple as a communication manager. So as you're aware, one of the bigger companies in the world, so it definitely takes a toll on my time. It causes me to have to travel quite a bit. So I've been around the world, Singapore, Ireland, different places in Europe, all over the world. And during those stops, I always got to make sure I have time to do my Ashford schoolwork while I'm out there all across the world. So I think I've probably done Ashford in 6 or 7 different countries around the world. I'm also, throughout the year, depending on what we have going on here at work, I have to support various types of projects during this time. So it changes my required time that I have to work from week to week. So really, it changes. I may have to work 70 to 80 hours a week, one week, or 50 to 60 the next week. So I just have to be able to plan my schoolwork around those different times to ensure that I can complete everything I need to complete. As part of my role, I am over a global team. So I have teams all over the world. And with that, with that in place, that means I may be working super late to meet with some of my teams or working super early to meet with some of my teams. There's times I may have a meeting at 2 a.m. So I need to make sure I can plan around those meetings and make sure I can complete my schoolwork depending on, what's going on that week. Also, while I was going to Ashford, I had my first child. So, that adds a whole new layer of responsibility and time that I have to kind of take away from my schoolwork. So it means even more organization and time management is needed to ensure that I can do my schoolwork, my work, and take care of my family as well. So based on that information, what I did a couple years ago, once I was in Ashford and started going, is I built a plan to make sure I was successful in my degree. So I did that by looking at my work schedule versus my class schedule. How much time did work dictate week to week? How much time does school dictate week to week? Based on that, I will understand what my capabilities and limits are. If I know I'm only going to have 20 hours worth of schoolwork, I need to plan that out accurately. That way I can make sure I get everything done throughout the week and meet the deadlines. And for work, if I'm working 80 hours that week, then what do I need to do to make sure I still get sleep, still see my family, and still get my work done and my schoolwork done? So to do that, I created what I call my keys for success, and I have my 6 keys. So starting off with a support system. So I think, you need a strong support system while you're doing both work and school. And that support system for me was my family, friends, my boss, and my mentors. So my family was aware that I was doing both school and work. So whenever there was a family event going on and I knew I had schoolwork that was due that week, I would make sure, talk to my family like, hey, I have this going on. And they're very understanding. They know up front that what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish, that will better my career and my future for my family. So they're all very understanding, and they know it's only for a certain period of time that I have to do this. And they're, not mad at me for missing a family event or anything like that. Friends the same way. Friends want to go out and have fun, want to do things. I got to make sure I let them know, school is coming first. And they support me in that initiative because, again, it's only here for a short period of time. My boss is very key. I was very honest, open with him, let him know what my school schedule would be like, that there's some weeks I may have to work later or earlier just to make sure I can get some of the schoolwork done. He's very understanding and open. As long as I was letting him know what my schedule was going to be, he's very open to that and make sure I had that success. And then I also have various mentors. So where I ran into an issue and I'm really getting challenged by doing both school and work, I have someone I can go to and ask questions and get advice on how I should handle this. Or if I'm starting to fail at either school or work, I can go to that mentor and they can give me some advice of how they would handle it if they were in that situation. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 is organization. So I want to make sure that I always organize myself to the best ability. To do that, at the beginning, I created a personal SWOT analysis where I can look at what my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to my success were. Based on that, I can know what I do well. Like I know I can get to discussions. It takes me this amount of period of time to do it. So I know I have plenty of time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to get those done. My weaknesses, maybe it takes me longer because I like to really perfect my papers before they get turned in. So I make sure I know I can give myself more time to get that kind of work done. And then, opportunities, I know I could be more organized in this area by scheduling myself more time and sticking to that schedule. Threats may be outside forces such as work adding more time, my baby may be sick, things like that, and look how I would handle that in certain situations. Based on that SWOT analysis, I was able to create a planner, a checklist, or a tracker, and depending on the situation, I have one of each. And it can really plan out my month or my quarter of my class. I can have a checklist each week that I go through to make sure that at the end of Monday, I have accomplished all of this, and on a Tuesday, I've accomplished all of this. So I kind of go in step by step there. And then I create a tracker that can help me for the quarter understand like where I'm at to meet my goals for school, where I'm at to meet my goals for work, and vice versa. And based on that, I would create different goals. Like I want to accomplish this each week by this day and things of that nature. Another one it may not think of, but it's pretty important, is computer organization. And so I have all my computer, all my folders and files set up for, I can easily go in there and find all the files for Ashford for each class by date, where I don't get lost or confused or have to spend extra time looking for different folders or files or papers. Or if I want to refer back to a paper, I have it all organized. So all of my communication papers are in one place, all of my business papers are in another, things like that. So I can easily refer back to some of my previous papers and resources that I used in the past. So key number 3 for me was time management. So even though I'm very organized, I got my organization plan together, I got to be able to have a time management plan to follow that. And so one of the things I do is I use a calendar app. The good thing is my calendar app, I can share it with my family or friends. That way they know during these periods of time, I'm going to be working on school, and I'm not going to be available to go out or have events or things of that nature, or if they're planning a vacation, they know that I have this time that I need to do for school or work, and they know about that. And then each week I would schedule my school time based on that. So based on my work schedule, I know that I need to schedule my school time for Monday from like 6 to 9 o'clock, or sometimes it's even later, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. to make sure that I get school done during this period of time. And I would schedule it each week. I would look at it a month in advance and just kind of plan out my time that way. And then luckily my calendar app, I can look at it on my computer, my phone, my watch, whatever I need to do to make sure that I can access my time and understand, keep me on track there throughout the week. I then stick to the schedule. It's easy to put everything in a calendar, everything in a plan, but if you don't follow that time and to a T, you can easily fall off schedule. So if I schedule myself on a Thursday to work on school, and I say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. Well, that tomorrow will keep backing itself up, and then you'll fall behind. So key number 4 is take a step back. Sometimes it's very overwhelming to be doing both school and work. And so, you can get overwhelmed, you can get stressed out, a little wore down, and some of your work may start failing, some of your schoolwork may start failing. So plan some time off, work in advance that way, and work with your instructor to make sure that you can, during this week that you're taking off, that you have your schoolwork already done, and you have it ready to turn in. And then that week you can just take off, relax, enjoy life, make sure you have that work-life balance, recharge your batteries, and then go back to it after your vacation's over. And so social sacrifices, this is a key one for me. As I mentioned before, letting your friends and family know when you're not available, but it's okay to say no. It might be a huge family thing going on. Well, if you have to get your paper done, you have to work, it's okay to say no. This is for your success and for your family's success in the future. So if you say no, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. This is only, again, for a couple of years that you're having to do this. And I think, if you have the right people that back you up, your right support system, then they'll be okay with that. But also another way is I took a step back many times from social media. I don't think people realize how much that really takes up your time throughout the day, going on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and those different places. So it's taking a step back and really try not to get involved too much with social media and really just focus on what you need to focus on to get done. Social media will be there at the end of the day or in a couple of years when you're ready to that's really important to you. But right now, the most important thing to you should be making sure that your schoolwork and your work is getting done. And final step here is your Ashford resources. So I was at other schools before I came to Ashford, and the tools that Ashford provides is second to none. A lot of great resources. The ones I use are listed here, like the Paper Review Writing Center, the library, and many others like the lab tutoring here. Those are very great resources, and why not take advantage of them? It really will help you out. I know in certain cases, I wasn't happy with my papers I was writing. I took them to the paper review. I was able to get some great feedback, and it really told me where I needed to take my paper to get it to the next level. Things like that, it was really helped me to be successful. The library is such a great tool to help you find the different papers and articles that are out there to help, really elevate your papers and your research that you're doing. So I always say, take advantage of those resources. Some schools don't offer as much as those, and you're really kind of stuck on your own, but this is just great resources that you can use. And always your instructor there at Ashford is very key. I know if every time I had a question or a concern, I was able to go to my instructor and get the support I needed there. So, I say just make sure you take advantage of those resources and use them while you have them. And based on these keys and what I was able to accomplish, I was able to get my degree this past October. And, it helped me move in the right direction and where I want to go in my career and my future. So, that's just my keys to success while being a working professional. So with that, I'll open it up. Is there any questions out there? Thanks for the congratulations. And for the Gremlin Access Code, I would work with your instructors and those on that list. Anybody has that offhand there? It's been a couple years since I worked through that, so I can't remember off the top of my head, Jamie. I'm sorry about that. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions there. So yeah, I want to leave my email address here. It's dkihl@apple.com. If you ever have any questions about how to better organize yourself, time management, or to make it as a working professional, there's my email address. Thank you guys for your time.
That's great. Thanks, Tony. Is there anything else that you want to add to the session? We've got about 4 minutes. If there's anything you want to talk about, maybe your experiences at Ashford or any other types of advice.
Yeah, I just say, I know it's a lot of tough work for a couple of years there, but I think I mentioned it. Organization is really key. It's so easy to get unorganized and get behind on things, and really that kind of stuff that you can control. As long as you have yourself organized and you have a plan going into each and every week, each and every class, you'll definitely be successful. And as I mentioned, the resources there really will back you up and make sure that you have everything you need. I really enjoyed my time at Ashford, and I was glad I was able to go through it. So I hope everybody else does too.